Okay, I unmuted myself. My audio is muted. Let me work out a couple kinks here in real time, okay? So let me go ahead and switch it to the correct microphone. That's right. We're used to it. And then that's right. That's how we know your family. Okay, so I believe, let me pull up the chat here. Okay. All right, so I think we are ready to go now. All right, so episode 16. Your audio's not coming through. Let me see what's going on here. Let's see. Let's go. Okay, we back. Now you can hear him. Say something.
Mic check, mic check.
Mic check, mic check. Okay, now we're good. That was probably confusing as fuck for them to listen to.
All right, so yeah, we'll do it again. Take two.
Take
Shout out
two.
to all the viewers. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to talk shit in the comments, roast us. We're here for it.
We're here
UFC
for it.
311 post-fight reaction. Shout out to all the Parry punchers out there, all the homies.
All the homies. So I was thinking right before we got
all
started.
The home girls.
All the homegirls, all the hyenas out there. Shout out Tracy Cortez. Shout out Ailin Perez.
Right.
The girls who are making some noise, right? Because, I'm always complaining about that. Hey, credit where credit's due. If you're making some noise.
True.
Right? You do what I'm asking. Did I not post?
True.
They talk their shit, I post. Post them over anyone. I post them above Sean Strickland, whatever weird shit he's talking about right now. You know what I mean?
Don't take me down. I just want to stand up.
Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, right, that one. I was like, that's kind of it was all right, you know what I mean? But not post-worthy. Tracy Cortez, that shit was post-worthy.
That was actually. That was some juice.
And you sent that to me. So shout out to you. I didn't really see that beforehand.
That was some juice right there.
But before this, I was thinking, let's give the people what they want, right? I think it's best. Let's start from the main event of UFC 311. Okay. And then we will kind of work our way down to, I think, also something I'm very excited to talk about, which is the downfall of Kevin Holland.
All right.
The downfall of Kevin Holland. It's in the title. We can read it right now. It's in the title. The downfall of Kevin Holland. So it's a topic.
For that? All right.
I'm excited because, I like Kevin, and it's not going to be as much like criticism maybe as like the title might lead you to think, but it's a lot of constructive criticism. It's a lot of things that I see wrong in his career that need to be fixed and need to be addressed.
Evidently, he doesn't give a fuck though, bro.
And that's fine, right? But we heard him saying he's like been shitty lately. Time to change things up. So time to change things up. Let me tell you. Let me give you a couple suggestions.
All right. So we'll start out with the main event.
Start off with the main event. Islam, Renato.
Yeah,
kick it off for me. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, last minute, 24 hours, Armin's out.
Yeah, that's correct.
I mean, that was, I was wondering for the people that paid an absurd amount of money to go to that fight. Mm-hmm. Did they get robbed a little bit?
Because also Dana White said that it sold more tickets after that announcement, which surprised me. My homie went to the fight.
That's a spin.
That's a little spin, right?
Yeah.
If anything, I feel like people probably turned in tickets or something like that. That's what I would have assumed. But anyway, my friend went, and I was kind of thinking too, about texting him and being like, yo, that kind of sucks, huh? But I didn't want to ruin his night.
Right. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, but first thought, I was like, that kind of sucks. So in my opinion, you pay for something, you get this 1 minute fight, right? So you do kind of get robbed a little bit.
The main event was more, it ended so quick that it really was all the other fights on the card.
Yeah, Merab, had us really excited, so it was fine. Really nobody complained about Islam.
It really did. And Renato, he got an opportunity of a lifetime.
Right.
He wasn't able to. He wasn't even able to get out of the first round, and I think it goes to show you, with that Darce choke, you give Islam, especially on the ground, right? He's a submission specialist,
and that's his move.
Right. And so, I mean, once he sees an opening, and he showed it with Dustin Poirier.
Mm-hmm.
Once he sees an opening, he's going for it, and when he's locking it in, and Ronaldo tapped on that shit.
Yeah, he tapped kind of quick too. Like that shit was tight. It seemed.
Yeah, yeah.
He kind of Islam kind of did him like Themba, like Vicente did Themba. You know.
Okay, that's a good. That's
as
a good.
As soon as they went in that position, it was just like over.
It was over.
Yeah.
It kind of seemed like, hey, he's been in that position 1,000 times, and in the back of the mind, he's just. And even Renato had said that the R silent with his name, right? Anato.
Renato. I put Renato like a H.
Like Anato.
Yeah.
It almost seemed like he has seen. He said that he pushed his hips down to kind of set him up. Islam did.
Yeah.
Get that opening, which if I'm now thinking about it, I'm sure Islam has practiced that same position 1,000 times, and he's probably knows how to maneuver. And if I do this, you're gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it played out.
Right. Why did they even get in that position in the first place? I kind of forget.
I think Islam took him down.
Did Islam take him down?
Yeah, I think it did, because they stood for about the first 2 minutes, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
And I did see people online saying that that was a slip, because it did look like he maybe hit him.
I think in real time I remember you saying like, "Damn, Renato clipped him," but yeah, it looks like he didn't.
Yeah, he did. He slipped. Like he maybe punched him, but he didn't clip him.
It was just kind of like rusty in those first few seconds of the fight, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, they were exchanging, right? They were
exactly. Yeah,
they were exchanging it, but it wasn't a clip. That's for sure. It was a slip, and he got right back up, and then he did what he did.
Yeah. So one of the questions on the top of my head, right? So Islam not only I think ties Silva for the longest active UFC win streak at like 15 or something like that, but he surpasses Khabib's title defense reign. Khabib had 3 title defenses, I believe, and Islam has 4.
Okay.
Also worth noting, Khabib I think got the undisputed title off of Ally Quinta, right? Because that fight fell through.
Okay.
Not a world champion by any stretch of the imagination. No offense to Al, but Islam won the world title off a world champion active Charles. So, in my opinion, right off the bat, I think Khabib has the bigger resume with Conor fight on there, with the Conor fight. They both fought Dustin, right? Khabib and Islam have both fought Dustin. But I think there's an argument like Islam is the better champion. The only difference is like Khabib fought the bigger name, had the bigger like fight.
Yeah, it's Islam still can prove a lot more, right? And really cement that can surpass Khabib. I think he's not at that point, because I think of what you just said, that the Conor shit was just crazy.
He needs an enemy, like a blockbuster legendary fight.
You need it was and then just all the fucking drama, bro. When Khabib jumps out the cage.
Right.
That shit was crazy, dog. Like
the dolly and all this stuff ahead of it.
It just magnified everything. And it will always be remembered. It will always go down. And then Conor, of course, he's fighting a guy, and there's such opposite type of people too, right? Conor's just over there like just he was just
drinking, talking shit, cussing. Yeah, Khabib doesn't partake in any of that.
Right. Like and then the whole like dolly shit, and then their camps and all this shit. So Islam's never had that.
Also, Khabib's undefeated, right? And Islam has the one loss.
That too.
So that kind of has like some precedent.
That too. And Khabib Islam has a different way when he approaches his fight. Khabib when he took you down and he held your legs like that, even Islam doesn't do that. Islam's really good on the ground, but he has a different way that his fighting style is different from Khabib's.
Yeah, Khabib is a little bit more like street fighting style type, like, you know what I mean?
But whenever like Khabib, like when you go back and watch it, he like when you wraps your legs and he drags you down. He like puts his legs in between your legs and he holds you. Islam, he does it, but he doesn't. That's not his like. Okay, let's say like
his MO, like his main.
Yeah,
thing.
let's say this. Like if we were playing Mortal Kombat, that would be Habib's signature move.
Right.
You know, that's not Islam's signature move.
Correct.
And Islam just seems bigger and stronger. You know, and
he's got a crazy back. His back is massive.
He's willing to stand with you too, right? I
think he's more finessed on the feet. He can kind of hang in the striking with elite strikers. I think Khabib had to do that wrestling with them.
And Islam's like he likes to fuck around and play around. You know what I mean? Like you can tell he's like still has a good time. Habib seems so serious. He was so laser focused.
Yeah. So how many fights do you think that Islam has to like win to be in a conversation, right? Or maybe who's the opponent he has to fight? Like either or, right? Is there a guy he's got to fight?
I think this is
double champ.
This is what that but this one cements it. You leave no doubt. You take care of Armin. Take care of him.
Okay, but he's not next, I guess.
Then that's fine, right? Let's play matchmaker. Who would be next?
We got to pull it up because honestly, I'm not too well versed with these lightweights right now.
So Dan Hooker's fighting Gaethje. Dustin Poirier just lost to
Islam, I believe.
To Islam, right? Max Holloway kind of steps in, but they're not going to get Max Holloway the belt because he just lost to fucking Ilya. Now Ilya moves up. That makes things interesting.
It does make things interesting, but then is Islam going to get some haters because they're going to be like 3 title defenses against fucking featherweights. You know how it goes.
And I get that, right?
Yeah.
But even I forgot who said something. The fact that you took the fight on short notice, there is still a chance that you can lose.
Okay, so how about this?
And he took and without no regard, he said, "You know what? Put me in. I'm gonna still get him."
You're talking about Volk number 2, or you're talking about?
I'm just saying in general. I'm just saying in general. In general, for you to still, there's no guaranteed wins, right?
Right.
But he took a chance. Like imagine Renato clips him. Oh, you know what I mean? There's a chance, but I'm just saying that for him to do it, I give him a lot more credit for that. A lot of guys don't do that. I give him credit for
taking it.
Yeah.
But I think in hindsight, people barely talk about the intricacies, right? People barely talk about weight misses. They barely talk about these things. So if I were to think on paper too, just being a devil's advocate, I think what Islam's done is pretty cool. But just to give it like those opposite kind of like opinions out there, I think there's an argument to say, right? Because if you're thinking like, is he the best champion? Because he has the most lightweight title defenses out of anybody. He has the record now. But like we kind of just talked about, Volk on short notice. Renato on 1 day's notice. You know what I mean? The only real legit like dub is like a Poirier, if in the eyes of the critics.
Yeah.
And Volk won.
And I think he still has I think he still has a lot more to prove. Right?
Because of that, right? If maybe he would have beat Arman, that would have proved something.
Yeah, I mean, I would say not even because of that. I say more because of his age. Habib just fucking retired. Habib could have still kept going. You know what I mean? He could have still tried to, but he just said, fuck it, I'm done. I'm out. Islam has an opportunity. He's what, 33?
He's something
turning
like that.
34.
I don't know.
He still has a few, his prime age is right now, right? He's not 36, 37 on the back nine. Or like, all right, you know what I mean? Like, so he still has 2 or 3 years right now to cement all of this shit.
Yeah.
Do what you have to do. Fight these next couple of fights. Get Ilya to move up, and if he fights him, he beats him. Move up to fucking welterweight, and then try to fight. See where you're there. If he does all those maneuvers, bro, and we're talking a couple years, like damn. But you're talking about another 4 wins under his belt. He beat Ilya, he beat Armin, he beat whoever else they put it in front of him before all that, and then he moves up and he beats somebody in the welterweight division, bro. The talk's gonna be crazy. That conversation will be crazy. You'll be like, Habib, who?
Right. I think, and it's very hard because, now you're throwing Ilya's name in the mix. And I find that exciting. I'm not going to just shut that down.
I do too.
The way Ilya's talking, right? I think because if Islam, hear me out, right? if we're talking reality, because this is where we're going to run into complications. I would personally say, if we don't talk about these complications, Islam deserves to fight Bilal. But here's the thing: he doesn't want to fight Bilal. Right. And he might not even want to fight Shavkat if Shavkat wins, right? Because he trained with Khabib. So here's the thing: if you don't want to do that, I just looked at the rankings at lightweight. There's nobody other than Arman that deserves it.
Oh yeah, I agree.
There's nobody. The only other closest thing to Arman is if you do a number 1 contender with Charles and Max, or if you give the title fight to Charles. But again, you're talking about another rematch. It does nothing for Islam's legacy. Because what?
It's Islam, Arman, Charles, right?
I believe it's Islam, Arman, Charles. Yeah, let me.
Justin, Max.
Dustin, Max.
Right. Then you get Dan Hooker. Probably got Benil Darush in there.
Dan Hooker, Chandler's number 7, which is just criminal.
Right.
That is just criminal.
Right.
Gamrot, Dariush. I mean, it gets worse.
Yeah.
It gets worse.
Right.
So the only fights are, in my opinion, right now, you don't, because Dana White said Arman isn't next. So if Arman's not next, I don't want to see that Charles rematch, if I'm being dead honest.
Right.
At this point in time, with 4 title defenses, I think you either move up and you challenge Bilal, or you do that super fight with Ilya. That's what I'm going to say.
I will say this, like, if they're going to say Arman needs to wait, and then they give him Charles, and then they give him Arman. Let's say Arman has to fight Renato. Or the winner of Dan Hooker versus Justin Gaethje.
Or what about like Arman versus like Max or something like that?
Or Max.
See, I could be down with like a number 1 contender fight at lightweight, and then you fight Islam. But I'm just saying, like, for Islam to have another rematch, I think it's kind of boring. I think it's played out.
I see that too, and I think the best thing is the Ilya, bro.
I think the best move is Ilya.
And Ilya will fucking talk shit.
It's gonna be a great fight to sell.
And yeah, he'll sell it correctly. It just because of his bravado, his swagger, his like confidence. We've now seen that he is talking the talk and then actually backing it up.
Right. And we just said, who can Islam fight who's like Khabib's Conor? In my opinion, everybody we just talked about, the best option would be like Ilya could be Islam's Conor.
Yeah. No, I think these next 6 months it's going to be very interesting how the UFC maps it out. They always seem to find a way to really give us what we want. So, man, I'm here for it.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I think we kind of talked about that one. I don't really have much opinion on like what's next for Renato. We can just like leave the UFC matchmakers for that one.
And I think that's gonna that's okay. All right, I see what the best looks like.
Yeah, and he kind of, he needs to take a big step back, right? He doesn't belong necessarily.
Right. I think that
I say give him like a Chandler, like anyone.
Chandler, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I think that's a good test. And then it moves Chandler back out if Renato wins.
Because, Renato did the UFC a solid, right? He doesn't have to take that fight.
Huge solid. And like I said, but it was I would have grabbed it. You know what I mean?
Of course. It was a win-win. Like,
yeah, win-win.
Yeah, because you get an opportunity in the future for saving the UFC, but you also get this opportunity you may never ever get. You don't know if you would ever get that again.
He said he got like $1 million.
Yeah, he could probably get an undisclosed bonus, whatever the case.
Yeah, I think he got like $1 million, so he didn't lose.
Yeah, some guys will just take that opportunity and not even renegotiate.
He lost, but he won.
Right, and that was where it comes into like a win-win.
Yeah.
Regardless of what happens.
He got easy money.
A little cha-ching.
And for just a round, no sweat, really a little choke. All right.
Right. It was only a couple minutes.
And nobody like is talking down on him. Like, oh, you got
no, not at all. What can you say? What can you say? Islam's good.
Yeah.
So let's get into. Let me just say this one last thing, right? Because I think Islam does have potential, and I don't want this to go unmentioned. He also said that he can be a 3-division champion. So, if he does fight Ilya, that's great. But also, if he doesn't want to fight Bilal and the UFC is willing to throw him a Dricus Duplessis mid-year, maybe like August of this year. You know what I'm saying? After Duplessis fights Strickland, hey, I'm down for that one too, for sure.
What was the weight? What were the stats of what he was walking around and what he had to drop? What was he at?
I don't think I mentioned his. I don't know because like the UFC deleted it now.
Really?
That would have been good to check. Though. I should have checked it.
I'm sure we could find it because if he's walking around at like 180, DDP's probably walking around at what?
200.
215 maybe.
Yeah.
DDP's not a small
thick.
dude. Yeah, he's not
thick.
a small dude. He's not a small dude. You know what I mean? What is he like? 6'1"?
Yeah. So yeah, something like that, right? 6 foot, 6'1". I think Islam in camp walks around 180. I think out of camp, Islam touches around 200. So you're talking about out of camp, both guys.
I just feel like it's
weight advantage.
I just feel like the only thing I can think is Islam's thinking it doesn't matter who you put in front of me, I'm gonna submit him. But I don't think taking someone down that big is as easy as just taking someone down. I don't know. I mean, of course I would watch it. I don't know. I think the 185er would have an edge.
He would have a big edge.
That's asking a lot. It's asking a lot.
He would have a big edge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is asking a lot for sure.
Yeah. Like I would think like Brendan Allen or Anthony Hernandez. I think they would get Islam, bro. They do really good on the ground too and shit. And they're just so big.
Interesting. But you don't hear anybody saying they're down to move up 2 divisions. So I love to hear the confidence.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right. He's that dude, right? He's that dude.
Okay. Merab and Umar. Big fight, right?
Bro, I thought it was gonna be boring. It impressed the fuck out of me. I know we're on the watch party watching that shit. Yeah, it was a sick fight. Interesting enough, clip this motherfucker. A lot of people thought Merab lost.
Yeah, and I have some thoughts about that. I was also calling it in the middle of the fight, kind of. It was the showboating, in my opinion, that was making it close.
Okay.
You know? Because he would be winning the round, and towards the end of the round, he would showboat because he won, and then Umar would edge himself back in the fight. I believe that happened in the 5th round and the 4th round.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. I think we're both on the same page. Like, I don't think it was needed. And that first round, this is what I thought. Went back and I watched it. I gave it 4 to. Did you have it 3-2?
I had it 3-2. Yeah.
See, I went back and I watched it. I now changed my mind to 4-1. I thought the first round was very competitive. They went back and forth.
I remember you said that
they went back and forth.
Umar didn't take it, right? From the champ.
Yeah, you got to take it from the champ.
And for me, I gave it to him. I said he edged it out. You know, he didn't take it, but he edged it out.
See, I thought it was too close.
Fair enough.
It went tick for tat, tick for tat, tick for tat. And so that's what. Now, in the second round, Umar did take Merab down. So I thought, okay, Umar did a little bit more and edged it. At the time, I said, okay, Umar, okay, he could be up 2-0. I could say that. He could be up 2-0, but it was this. But in those championship rounds, Merab turned it on, and he just like a little Energizer bunny that doesn't quit. He just always...
Yeah.
You know? He just does it, and he's all like geeked out and shit. I'm like, what's happening with this dude, bro?
Dude, that's exactly how he fights. That's crazy. You got his rhythm down.
Hey, I know what I'm gonna be for Halloween this year.
That was too good.
And then you saw Umar kind of slow down a little bit. His motor started to turn down, and I think if you want to match Merab, you got to match that intensity evidently for 5 fucking rounds. Like you got to be even ×2 on that shit.
Right.
And I thought Merab's takedowns seemed more impactful. Like when he grabbed that single leg, he put you
dumped
down.
Him, yeah.
He dumped him hard, like
a little bit.
Yeah, it felt impactful. And I thought in that second round, I think it was the second round, when Umar did a really clean trip and he got him down and he was on top of him. And I thought that was really clean, and he had some really good He was striking, he was throwing kicks, but that third round and the fourth round, you could just tell Umar was losing steam every single round. And for all the people out there that thought Umar still won, because all these fan accounts and shit that are saying, "Oh no, that he got robbed," I was like, I just can't see it because of his demeanor and of his even the numbers, bro. The numbers and significant strikes and takedowns, they all were in Merab's.
Yeah. Although I think I saw something where I forget, but I feel like I might have seen a stat where Umar had 3 of the rounds with strikes. I could be wrong, but I thought I saw something like that.
I think one of the stats that I saw, okay, so nobody had any knockdowns. Total strikes, Umar had 113 for 246 thrown. Merab had 142 landed, 293 thrown.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 48%.
More overall.
More overall, right. Significant strikes, 100 for Umar, 104 landed, 237 thrown. Merab had 111, 259 thrown. So it's 7 more landed. Mm-hmm. Okay. They were close, right? The takedowns, Umar had 2 out of 15. So Merab was able to defend, 13 of those?
Yeah.
Merab had 7 out of 30.
God damn, 30 fucking takedowns is crazy.
Attempted, right? Attempted. But he got 7. Right. And don't get me wrong, Umar did it wasn't like he was so dominating on him. He versus Sean, he was more dominating and held him down. Mm-hmm. Umar was able to get up faster.
Right.
And he was able to defend, but that activity has to say something.
It does. And I think, for the people who think Umar won the fight, I think this is where Umar lost the fight because it was very close. And I think the Russians are known for this, which is edging out close fights. They keep it really close and then they do these big movements towards the end of the round. They edge out the round.
And they take you down and leave a lasting impression, and they're able to kind of ground and pound a little bit, even if it didn't totally dominate, it leaves a lasting impression. And to add on to that, didn't mean to cut you off. Mm-hmm. People are going to say that he broke his hand, which he did. Everybody saw the X-ray. I'm questioning when did he break his hand? Because even during those rounds, if anybody go back and watch it, he never was you never saw that in between rounds. And if he's a G, if he never said anything and he waited to the last fight, to the fight ended to raise that awareness.
Yeah. So and maybe that is why he wasn't able to do that, right? What I'm talking about, which is edging out the rounds. But this is where he lost it, in my opinion, because the fight was very close. But Merab controlled the fight, number 1. And number 2, the showmanship, clowning on Umar, that goes for something. When you are getting clowned in there, right, over and over again, you're getting dumped. Merab's playing to the crowd. On top of that, when the fight ended, Merab got on top of the cage. Umar didn't get on top of the cage. These are moments where I think Umar needs to learn from and realize that it's not just about, just fighting necessarily. You also have to the showmanship wins it in the eyes of the fans. Getting the most cheers also translates to some degree to the judges' scorecards. And last thing about this is that it's kind of what I said. I think you have the recording anyway of it, but I said Merab did to Umar what Ryan Garcia did to Devin Haney. Ryan Garcia's showmanship in that fight also won it against Devin Haney. He was up on the ropes and Devin Haney was defeated. And at the end of that fight with Umar, you saw that Merab was the one full of energy and Umar was defeated. Regardless, if you think Umar won, what Umar showed is that he was defeated and that Merab was the victor. So just putting that stuff out there, I think that played a big part in why Umar lost. Because I think people are saying it's very close. Sure, on paper, X's and O's, looking at the numbers, yes. But when you factor that stuff in, I think he clearly lost.
I think he lost as well. And I think the numbers give Merab the edge.
Right. They do give him the edge. Because he also won off of that too.
And I think it goes back to what you just said, the demeanor, right? Body language. Umar looked tired. He looked like he didn't win. Mm-hmm. I thought the Umar and the Sandhagen fight, Umar looked like Merab. Correct. In the Sandhagen fight. He was more he had a bigger motor than Sandhagen did on the feet and on the ground. Here it got reversed in the third, fourth round, and I think that it's a learning lesson because Umar's still young, and he now has a chance to see, okay, this is what it's gonna take. Go back to the drawing board. You got Khabib in your corner. He's not gonna fucking. He's gonna keep pressuring you to get better.
Just build off of where you're at now. It's all good.
Yeah. Because you now can see, okay, I some tweaks, some little tweaks, you gotta, and I put the hand in, and you got to put that into the equation as well. I will say this for Merab. Did you see him on the Ariel show on Monday?
Talking about all of his injuries and stuff like that.
Yeah, but dude, he looked fucking, bro. He looked depleted on Monday. He was coming off fucking being sick too.
I didn't know he was. So sick.
He was. Yeah, bro. You didn't see him coughing like.
I didn't watch that full interview. I don't think.
His whole demeanor, bro, he looked like, I thought he was crying or something. I'm like, dude, what's going on with this dude? Did this lady just break up with him?
He was all stuffed up and stuff.
Yeah, and then he started coughing. He was all like, yeah, man, it was like. So I think he probably had took like, some medicine, right, to kind of like try to fight through all of it and shit. And I think that's why he looked all geeked out, like he was on some like creatine, like the big fucking box. Yeah, the green powder.
Yeah. He gave himself like 2 scoops.
3, bro. They look like 3 to me.
Okay.
But he was coughing though. He was sick. So that the cut on his leg and shit. So I commend him for all of that.
Right. So it evens out. It evens out. I know that Umar had the hand injury, but on top of that, Merab might have came in there sick. He threw out his back. He wasn't able to rehab his shin as much as he wanted to. So it all evens out.
That shin looked fucked up. Yeah, that shin was crazy cut when he got that.
That was fucked up. And obviously you can't even...
What did he do to get the shin? What did he do?
He hasn't even said. I don't even know if it's a staph infection. I don't think it doesn't look like staph.
No, that looked like he got fucking like... He fell off a fucking cliff.
That's exactly what that's exactly what I think. I think he was hiking and he must have like fallen down and like skidded down on his shin. Like with a rock, you feel me?
That's what it really looked like. Yeah, that looked crazy.
It were like he was climbing up a hill, you know what I'm saying? And like he just slipped and like his whole shin got gouged. That's what it looks like, or like riding a bike.
Maybe one of the homies that is watching or a replay viewers, drop it in the comments. Let us know. Give us a scoop of what happened.
Yeah, because usually you can tell if it's like an infection.
I start giving the shout outs to people that drop the comments and shit.
I will. Last time I missed it, so I got the chat up. We got no comments so far.
I think what we do is we give a shout out for the last episode, and we look at the comments and we're like, all right. So
I tried to look at them, but apparently when they comment live, it doesn't go into the video when it's posted.
The regular comments?
Yeah, the regular comments. So they got to comment like new, because like on my end, the whole live process.
You got to double comment.
Yeah, you got to do 2 comments.
You got to double comment. Like, nobody got time for that.
I know, right?
Hey, bro, I already dropped the comment. I'm like, hey, I did my job.
We'll see. Leave a comment so we can see. Test it out for us, because I don't even know for sure. I was gonna say Merab. Who does he fight? Right? I know you want that O'Malley fight. We got Corey Sandhagen saying O'Malley don't deserve that, and I'm on Corey's side. O'Malley needs to fight Corey, in my opinion, for Umar.
It's a bigger. I think Sean O'Malley fucks Corey Sandhagen up.
Well, then let's see it.
Sean O'Malley's special, bro. He has that it factor. He has that it factor, and that's gonna sell more tickets. You could build that hype. That's gonna be fucking big. And if he gets the dub and he does it in a dominating fashion, hey, now we say, hey, he's gonna get back. But if he loses again, then it's like, all right, bro, now we gave you a shot. Get back to the backup line and shit.
Exactly.
That's in my opinion. That's my opinion. And
so
okay, the other day, Peter Yan.
Peter Yan is another contender. That's who Umar's been calling for, or Merab's been calling for.
And Peter Yan has it, bro. That last fight versus Figueroa, that was a battle, bro. They went back and forth. It was
a good fight.
He has a hope. It was a great fight. Was it 5 rounds too, I believe?
Yeah.
So Peter Yan's in. I think a lot of people question the Sean O'Malley Peter Yan fight.
They do.
That was close.
Close fight.
That could have. I'd love to see what 4 round. So if we were to say something, I would say if it doesn't go to Sean, give it to Peter. He's definitely earned it.
Okay, so Sean or Peter. Okay.
But I think Sean sells more tickets.
Fair enough. At least Merab's got options. He's got a couple contenders who he can fight.
Oh yeah. He got options.
And then how about whoever doesn't fight, whoever fights Umar, whoever doesn't fight Merab, they do a number one contender against Corey to fight Merab in the next one.
Didn't Corey just lose?
He did. That's why Corey needs to fight a top contender to beat and then get into a title fight again.
All right.
Corey's good.
I'm not sold.
Okay, let me sell you a little bit. Let me give you a couple things real quick. Corey also gave Umar that opportunity. This is where my line of thinking. Corey gave Umar that opportunity. You know, he didn't have to do that. He could have also played on his ranking and waited and probably could have got a title shot, but he didn't. He was a noble guy. So because he was a noble guy, I'm just trying to be nice to him and be like, all right.
I agree with that one.
Okay.
I respect that.
Fair enough. So Corey, we got you, Corey. Number one contender, either Peter or Sean.
Yeah. I like to see the rankings real quick.
Pull them up.
I will say that division, we got some good competition in there, and let's see here. So it's Sean, Peter, Umar, Corey, Figueroa, Marlon Vera, Henry Cejudo, and Henry Cejudo is supposed to fight Song Yadong, Rob Font, Mario Batista, he's on the come up, Jose Aldo. So really, it's one of those things like Corey Sandhagen's not going to fight anybody below him. He needs to fight someone above him, like a Peter Yan, like a Sean O'Malley, since he did a solid. And Umar's going to take a while to kind of recover from that hand.
At least, majority of the year, 6 months.
Right.
So prop Corey up in one of those fights. He also, and this is my thing, right? I'm always bitching, and since I'm always bitching, I'll take back the bitching when it's necessary. Corey hopped on social media, and he called for it on his Instagram. He said, listen, Sean don't deserve that fight. I want to fight Sean for a number one contender to fight Merab. So you got on social media, you talked your shit, you're confident, you want to fight, you're asking for it, you're promoting it. So because you're doing that, now you got me talking about it. You know what I'm saying? And let me throw some more shade. You ain't no Sean Brady getting propped up on Ariel's show doing fucking some bullshit. Because now Sean Brady's calling for Usman. Now Sean Brady's saying Kamaru Usman's his number one guy. Well, guess who's calling for Usman too? Joaquin Buckley. And he gets first dibs.
Okay, tell me how you really feel.
And I spoke with Joaquin.
Ooh.
And he shared with me his thoughts on that, and he wasn't happy.
Right.
But I won't say any more. We're gonna work on getting an interview done, and everybody will hear from him soon. But that was a little tangent I got on. What was I just talking about before that? Sean Brady was related to something.
Corey
Sandhagen promoting himself. So good on Corey. That's why it's you're promoting yourself. You've done the UFC as solid. You're playing the game. I fuck with Corey. You know what I mean? Hopefully he can get something to work out.
Gotcha. Okay.
I did want to touch on Arman's injury. Just a quick thing about that.
Okay.
Right? Because Arman's injury, Dana White is suggesting that Arman was kind of fit to fight, you could say. Would you say he suggested that or no? Because I would say he suggested that.
At the press conference, right?
Yeah, he didn't say. He said only Arman knows if he was fit to fight. But right before that, he just got done saying, basically Arman could have fought and he chose not to.
You know what's interesting? This is what I really thought.
Okay.
Let's say if it was Joaquin, or let's say it was Carlos Paredes or Hanato last year, or Charles Energy Johnson. Do you think they would have backed out, or do you think they would have sucked it up because they had to fucking get that paycheck to feed their families?
I think they would have done it.
You know what I mean?
I haven't even thought about that, but the way you just presented it, I think they would have done it.
You know what I mean? There's that hunger where you have to survive and you don't have a fucking choice. Mm-hmm. Your family's depending on it. You just spent fucking $50,000 on your conditioning and your gym and this, and the bills are fucking racked. Well, I don't have a choice. I have to fight.
That's why Randy Brown told me he fought Brian Battle.
I don't have the luxury to fucking take another 3 to 6 months off.
Mm-hmm. I think that plays into it.
And I think some of these other guys, they may have had to sucked it up, like I said, cut the weight, injured, and get in there.
And let me take it a step further, because this is truly what I think happened to Arman. right? It's great because we have like two kind of different opinions, but I think somewhat relatable.
Right.
In my opinion, this is what happened to Arman. He knew he couldn't cut the weight because he was injured.
Mm-hmm.
And so he made the decision.
It's not like it was spazzing out on him, right? He was cutting weight, and it sounded like
sciatica.
And I get that, right? And go ahead.
Okay, so he thought he couldn't cut the weight because he was injured. My opinion, when you can't make the weight, right, you're not eligible to win the title. So in my opinion, he said, I can't make the weight. I'm ineligible for the title. I don't want to fight. And so I think the other guys you mentioned, even if they couldn't make the weight, they would have still fought and stepped up for the card because it's their position to be in.
But look he had Arman's in a different position, as we have found out, because he has the luxury to lean on something else.
Well, he's got millions, I guess.
There's money in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about what you had said before. Is like, you don't want the belt? What's going on here?
As soon as he got propped up to the spotlight, he was like, my life won't change and these things. I don't know if you saw it, but at the press conference, he whispered something to Islam. Like, that just, to me, I was like, you're scared.
Yeah, I mean, when you have something to fall back on, the hunger to survive is not motivating you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
These other fighters we just named, they were fighting to survive.
Building up, right?
Yeah, to help their families, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Their wives, their kids, their personal, their mortgages. These aren't rich men we're talking about, bro. They're trying to prove themselves, to build their name, to build all these things we're talking about. And I don't think they didn't have the choice to make a decision like that. And we don't know what happened behind the scenes. Maybe Joaquin was hurt one of those times, or Carlos, or Charles. I'm sure all of them are dealing with injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure they all had to suck it the fuck up.
That's a good point you made. They are dealing with injuries. I can tell you that much. They all are.
Right?
They always are.
All of them, bro.
Look at Umar and Merab. What just happened there? They're always all dealing with injuries.
Right.
So Arman with a spazzed out back, he ain't the only one.
And like I said, I'm just gonna say this, and I the two things can be true, right? He probably didn't want to, since he was hurt, he knew he couldn't cut weight. He was like, fuck it, I don't even want to chance it. And so he backed out.
That's what I think happened.
He backed out.
And I think
now you get kind of pushed back behind the line, and I think that's what our original thing about Dana. I think that's what Dana was like saying. You know what I mean? Like, all right, you want to step up. You don't want to, work through it. Hey, you're gonna have to go back and kind of prove yourself again.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was super 1 a.m., bro. Like, don't be calling me at 1 a.m., dog.
Yeah.
If you're gonna let me know, if I was Dana moving forward, 2025, cutoff time's 10 p.m. I'm asleep.
And I guess you could say Dana knows.
Let me know before 10.
Yeah, and Dana knows what goes on behind the scenes, right? So when he's speaking, like, Arman probably could have fought, which he's suggesting. I think Dana knows, like, let's say, right, hypothetical, a fighter is injured, but they still go through to fight and nobody ever finds out. Dana knows about that, Like, if Carlos Prates were to fight with a broken hand, right, and never told anyone, Dana White would know that. So Dana knows, my point being, Dana knows guys have fought with injury. Look at Merab. Merab is the perfect example. Dana's like, Merab fought with worse injuries than Arman just pulled out with. So make it make sense.
Yeah, Dana's like, Merab, bro. Yeah.
We got a guy on the card.
And I'm sure, bro.
On the card.
We could probably go down the list of probably, we would really like to look into it, like fighters that fought through worse.
Pereira last year fought with a broken foot. So Dana, I think this is what something wasn't mentioned. Dana, when he says this, Dana knows everything. So when he is questioning a fighter, just know Dana knows like 10 fighters who have probably fought with worse injuries than Arman. I think it's worth saying. We're being hard on Arman. We're being hard on him.
Yeah.
But the truth is the truth, right? So there's nothing you can really do. All we're doing is speaking facts.
I think it's one of the, you know what it made me think about when I thought about the injury? I was thinking about some of the football players. You respect the guys that go out there and put it all on the line, especially when they're injured. Mm-hmm. Last year, Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship game is coming up. he injured his ankle, and you could see him, bro, like getting up and hobbling, and he still fucking went and he didn't step out. Mm-hmm. He was so determined to win. Imagine what that does for all your team, bro. Like, damn, my fucking quarterback's fucking hobbling. We have to pick him up just to bring him into the fucking huddle. It fucking inspires you. Like, dude, you're fucking, let's go, bro.
It's like, I don't give
let's
a fuck
go,
about
my
this
dog.
Yeah.
Right, bro. But like, you could tell he was like literally hobbling, like just like going back like that.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah, and for everybody that is able to push through it, and then later you think about the pain, your respect level just goes times 1,000. If we would have found out later that Arman had that injury and he did all the things and he fought through it, man, we would be like, man, that's a motherfucking dog right there, bro. Like that's that a respect, even if you lost.
Because we're still talking about how Pereira fought with a broken foot, right? And we say he's that
just
dude.
The mentality. Just the mentality of fucking doing it. Like, you know, when Conor stepped out, Conor can afford to step out.
He's done his thing. And Conor also fought with like broken ribs or something like that.
Which probably a lot of fighters have.
Yeah, I think he fought Chad Mendes with like broken ribs or something weird. A bad knee. He had a bad knee. Conor had a bad knee against Mendes.
We'll always kind of look back on this moment and be like, man.
Okay. Right.
It is what it is.
It is what it is, but I think it was worth mentioning because that was kind of like unsaid but said
I
at
think
the
he's
same
a great
time.
fighter. I think he's a great fighter. He's young, and we'll see what the future holds from him. And, you know, see who he fights. If he walks through this next person, hey, you know, line him back up.
Let's see, right? Okay.
He didn't walk through Charles Oliver. I just got to say that. He didn't walk through Charles Oliver. That was
he didn't. And I was factoring that in a lot with his Islam fight because Islam kind of did, right? Islam kind of did walk through Charles. Let's go before we get into the downfall.
Oh, Yuri.
Right. Before we get into the downfall of Kevin Holland, let's hit Yuri and Jamal Hill.
Bro, like my respect level for Jamal Hill went up the roof. Even though
I respected him before this. You heard me. I was preaching to the choir, right? I was like, "Hey, Jamal is a good guy."
You switched me. You swayed me. I went for Hill.
Yeah. You're rooting for Jamal. I was going for Jamal before that.
Well, he gets a lot of backlash because of all the shit he talks to the people online.
Right.
Like he can't handle the smoke, right? And he kind of says some like, "Come on, dog." Like, but
he got bad takes. Let's just be real. He got some bad takes.
That's some bad takes, yeah. And he stood in there and he fought back. He gave it everything he had. And what impressed me about this fight was that, and it was something you kept saying when we were doing the watch party. I had a really good time with the watch party, just so you know.
Yeah, that was some good shit.
What I like better when I walk back on it is we were like 30 seconds ahead, and then you saw like a reaction like this, like
everybody had their separate reactions.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, something that you said, Yuri looked lean as fuck.
Yeah.
He looked, dude, like yoked and shit in that motherfucker, bro.
Compared to Jamal.
Just in general, he looked fucking lean.
He did, for sure. Good shape.
Fucking great shape. And I watch you're gonna clip this and gonna troll it like, oh, you like dudes and shit, you know, fuck you. Give me a high nut.
No diddy.
Right. And his boxing technique and his head movement and his counter looked like it really elevated from his other fight.
DC said he's the same guy. I don't know what fight DC was watching.
He looked crisp, bro. He
was a new man out there.
Yeah, his boxing shit. Like, look, I want to know what who he had been training with, bro, because like he looked sharp and clean.
He looked real good.
He looked a step above Jamal every time they exchanged. He took some punches, he got in the pocket, but he was more elusive and more technical, and evidently because he got the KO on a counter.
Mm-hmm. And you saw, right, Jamal just got done throwing, and the way Jamal threw that versus the way Yuri threw that, night and day. Like, complete opposite. Yuri had 10 times more power in his shot than Jamal did that night, I think.
Yeah.
Yuri had crazy power.
Yeah, no, that was a great fight.
Solid fight. I'm glad people are fucking with Jamal again after that. They see how much the loss meant to him.
And bro, then he saw him backstage and shit, dude. Like, that shit was.
Everybody feels for him. They're not clowning on him too much, honestly.
And I like them getting shots afterwards and shit.
Yeah, that was chill. That was chill.
Like some homies, you know what I mean? Like, and Yuri just seems like that type of guy. Like he's and I think what you had said too, he was fighting for almost a bigger cause in there.
Right,
like
the cancer.
I thought it, yeah, and when you said it, I was like, all right. I mean, that plays a part in it, but he looked good.
He looked good.
Good.
And he spoke about that after the fight. He's like, I came in there with good energy because like this girl and stuff like that. So it was all about that. I was just gonna say, Jamal can take a loss because this is a big thing about Jamal, right? And you just mentioned the shots and how much the loss meant to him. You know how heartbreaking it was for him. It was heartbreaking, but he also congratulated Yuri, and he also was like clowning around with the fake Yuri. So Jamal's a good dude, you know. He could take a loss. He also was cool with Paul Craig when he broke his arm. I think same thing. They were dancing in the bar that same night.
That's who we want, but that's who we want to see.
But maybe he just thought maybe he just thought there was something wrong with the Alex fight. And can we really clown on him for that? Like maybe he just thought one time, right? If he's a good sport about every other loss, but the one time he loses to Alex, I'm thinking like, okay, maybe he just thought something about that, right? Because he's a good sport. He showed he's a good sport.
I think the people online got to him a little.
And he kept feeding into it. He kept boosting the narrative.
Yeah, and he kept feeling he had to defend himself.
And like kept developing it, and the people kept restating the opinion over and over again.
Yeah.
Versus like a one and done, right? But he kept bringing it back up. Like you got, because people are saying like he's still talking about this. Yeah. I think that's what it was. He kept bringing it up for clout.
And it was interesting. Ray had brought up a question. I'm going to ask you the same question.
All right, shout out Ray.
Both these guys lost to Alex Pieta.
Yeah.
What does that say about Alex Pieta?
Well, that he's their daddy. Just kidding. But no, that he's a beast. He's a beast.
I mean, the way he beat them too.
And you know, mixed martial artists, right? These guys weren't kickboxers before they came to MMA. So the fact that Alex can beat these guys, you know, says a lot. Because these are two talented guys. These are the top of the division if Alex isn't there. These are the guys Magomed's fighting. Right?
Yeah. And so who do you give Yuri next? Who do you want to see?
Shoot. Because Yuri wants that like third fight, right? I say the best one I heard of, I've heard this somewhere down the line since the fight happened, Yuri and Khalil Roundtree.
That's right, exactly. I think it'll be a great fight.
Great fight.
That's what I'd want to see.
Yeah.
And if he can walk through Roundtree, because Roundtree impressed me. I thought he really gave Alex Pieta a run for his money. Evidently got gas and he got fucking beat the fuck up.
Yeah.
But if he can do what he did versus Heel to Roundtree, that makes things interesting.
Yeah. And you know, because I feel like my response to Ray's question might have gone under the rug there a little bit. Like I think Yuri and Jamal are the cream of the crop if Alex isn't there. That's pretty crazy to say because Alex knocked them both out in a round. So Alex is like two levels above the cream of the crop.
He beat Yuri twice, right?
He beat Yuri twice, 2 knockouts.
And he beat Jamal that one time.
First round knockout. So, you know, the gap there is a big gap. Yeah. Hit the celly on him too. The meme celly, whatever that was. Who is that guy? Cobby? I think his name's Cobby.
Yeah.
Shout out to Cobby.
Yeah.
Okay, so we wrap up that topic, I believe. Anything more though? Jamal, Yuri. Should we think about what's next for Jamal?
Let's give Jamal I want to see him on YouTube. I want to see what he says.
Get some of his takes out there, and then we'll respond.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fuck. You know what? Let's go into the downfall of Kevin Holland, and we will wrap up on Ailin Perez and Tracy Cortez beef.
And let's bring up Diego Sanchez too.
Diego Sanchez as well.
Yeah.
You know, Ailin and Tracy, they won't get mega priority. Everybody kind of knows what that is, but pressing issues, Kevin Holland, number one. The downfall. Give me about 5 minutes here.
Okay.
Let me run. Maybe not 5 minutes, but I got a few bullet points here.
Okay.
Number one, though, off the top of my head. Kevin needs to find out what weight class he belongs in. Right? Because it's complete undiscipline, in my opinion. He's too small for 185. Let's just call it what it is. You're too small for 185, but you don't have the discipline to cut down to 170. So pick one.
You either got to put on an extra muscle and stay at 185 and start cutting some real weight to compete with these guys, right? Or you got to get disciplined and cut down to 170. That's number one. Number two, on top of your weight discrepancies in your fights, you weighed in at like 183.5 pounds. So you overcut weight. So you're coming in underweight and then you overcut. You cut an extra 1.5 pounds. It makes no sense. And then you don't even put on extra weight after that. Like you only gain like 6 pounds or like 8 pounds. You know what I mean? After the fight or after your weigh-ins. So it's complete undiscipline. Not only are you not in the right weight class, but you're overcutting weight. You're coming in underweight. You came in 193.5. I have it written down right here. 193.5. Rainer DeRitter, 202.8. 10-pound weight difference. So you need to either put on 10 pounds of muscle and start cutting extra weight to stay at 85 or drop down to 170. And I'm only saying this because Kevin said himself that he's been trash lately and he needs to clean things up. So first and foremost, Kevin, find the weight class you belong in. Because here's another thing too I have written down. You said that you knock out Bilal Muhammad if you stuff the takedown. Okay, well, let's see if you can stuff the takedown, number one. But if you think you can knock out Bilal, then I think you should go down to that weight class because he's the champ. I believe he said that on the Jackson podcast.
But does he even deserve to get in the top 15 rankings, though? He's not even ranked anymore.
But if you think you could, my thing is this. If you think you could beat Bilal, then you can probably mow through the rankings.
But here's my thing then, to add on top of that.
Okay.
It's going to take you 2 years in order to get back in that position. You have done your, what is he, 4? He's lost 4 to the last 5.
Correct.
Out of the rankings. So let's say you do move down. To me, bro, all of a sudden now you're a gatekeeper, dog. Because you're going to get the same Kevin Holland. We know what we're getting now.
We do. We do know what we're getting. And, a lot of this talk as far as trying to, giving him the solutions to make it better, I'm afraid it might be too late, Kevin. Because you've wasted these years.
There's something about him. Like, even when I watched after the he's 32 years old. I mean, he's not old either. It's something about his demeanor. And I'm a big fan of him too. I like him.
He can turn it around
in his demeanor. He could, but something about his demeanor, bro. It's like he don't really care.
It's not even him, if we're being real. That's not how he is at home.
No, I don't know. I mean, because
the
persona you put, I don't know, because but look at the results.
What do you mean?
You see the demeanor. Like, the results speak volumes, bro. Lost 4 out of the last 5.
Yeah, or you're talking about his demeanor, like his nonchalant, don't care demeanor.
To an extent, yeah. And I mean the demeanor of then you go into the ring and you lose.
Okay.
Like, it'd be one thing if you had that demeanor outside the ring, like you did on the Jackson podcast. His demeanor in the Jackson podcast is like, bro, I'm the baddest motherfucker out here. What's up, dog?
Yeah, that stuff is upsetting.
What's up? What's up, Rampage? Man, I'll fuck you. His demeanor is like, bro, I'll fuck you up. I don't give a fuck.
And that shit pisses me off. I'll tell you why that pissed me off, but go on.
And then you're like, okay, so we know what you probably need to do in order to get this win. But he's so arrogant almost and so cocky, like, nah, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. And I'm going to get the win. And then, but the results don't, if let's say he had that same demeanor and he won, bro, we'd be like, dog, shit, do you, bro? You a real one because you can back it up. But the results, and now you're not even ranked. It's like, for example, if you were to give him the welterweight, right? Carlos Freitas. Who do you got?
Carlos isn't going to take him down, so it's a little bit closer than you might think. But any wrestler, I'm going to pick the wrestler. Let me put it like that.
I hate to say it. Colby. I hate to say it. You pick Colby?
Yeah. I told you. Any wrestler.
Yeah, so, I mean, but once you get to these top guys, the Shavkat, even Ian Gary showed, Sean Brady showed, Gilbert Burns, Colby.
Gilbert beats Kevin. You know I'm not the biggest
Sorry, Sean Brady beats Kevin, and you know I'm not the biggest Sean Brady fan.
So I mean, Vicente Luque.
I guess it'd be close. Gatekeeper versus gatekeeper.
Yeah, but Vicente's good on, and I like what you said too. Like, Kevin Holland's good on the ground, but I don't know, bro.
No, you were right. I thought about that when Kevin lost. I go, oh yeah, MTK was right. Black belt, schmack belt.
Because he wants to put on a good performance, which I get, right? Because you're a fighter, you want to be dynamic, and he is. He's like dynamic. It's just, I don't know, bro. It's more disappointing than anything to me because I feel like you're so much more talented. But then when I hear you with like going on the Jackson podcast, like it was a great episode. That was a great episode. That was entertaining.
Once they got past that, and even the beginning, it was all entertaining. Yeah.
And I love Rampage. Rampage, he let him talk. Like, all right, dog. You know what Rampage remind me of? Rampage remind me of an older brother, and there's a younger brother like, bro, I'll fuck you up, but keep going, dude.
Yeah. Well, he's secure. Rampage is secure. Yeah, super secure.
Like, you don't have nothing to prove to Kevin Holland. You just let him do. Nothing. He just let him kept yapping and shit.
Bro, Rampage, a former UFC champion. What the fuck does he got to prove to Kevin Holland?
Right, and he's big as fuck.
He could have easily told him that too, but he's like, I'm good, dude.
Yeah, because he could roll with that. He could have fun with it. You know what I mean? He knows it's going to give views too. He's now getting all this. Like, his podcast is blowing up. I've always loved Rampage too.
Mm-hmm. Rampage the GOAT.
But a lot of people could see that as disrespect though. Initially, it's kind of like, man, bro, you're being disrespectful to Rampage like that. That's out of pocket, dog. And there was the way he was the way he was like clapping back at him, like he was trying to make Rampage look stupid.
He was.
Oh, you don't know what this is? Oh, you don't know what that is? You know what this is? Like, half the world don't know what that is, dog.
4570, whatever the fuck he's talking about.
Right. Half the world don't know what the fuck that is, bro.
And like, it's just kind of crazy to me. Couple things off of that with the conversation. Number one, bro, it's like a pet peeve of mine when, like, for example, right, if a fighter were to ever come and press me and try to fight me for whatever I have to say about you, you're a clown. You know what I mean? Because I'm not a fighter. I'm a journalist and I'm presenting my opinions. Maybe I have a critique about you. But if you can't use your words to come in and speak to me, you know what I mean, and work things out and express your opinions and your thoughts and your feelings about something I may have said, and you have to resort to kicking my ass, there's always somebody bigger and stronger. That's not how I handle problems in real life. There could be a small kid who disrespects me. Am I going to tell him I'm going to kick his ass? No, I'll talk to him. So if I disrespect you, for you to be like, oh, I'll kick your ass, it's like the most minimum level requirement of like solving problems. So that's what Kevin did to Rampage. It's like, I'm going to kick your ass. Rampage is a retired UFC champion. You don't need to be talking to anybody that way who's not a fighter, let alone like Rampage, who's also proven himself. So to me, when Kevin does that, it's like corny as fuck, number one. And then number two, you bring in guns and you're a pro fighter. So you're going to kick a guy's ass who could take you, right? You're going to kick his ass with your fists. But then you're going to also turn around and say, but the guy bigger than me, I'll just shoot you. He didn't say that, but he keeps bringing up guns. Why do you think he's bringing up guns? He's trying to intimidate. And so for a fighter to do that, to play both cards, Kevin doesn't, I don't know what's up with Kevin.
Were they talking about hunting, or that's what it was? It was hunting, right?
But he's talking, like, oh, yeah, no, but this is what Kevin said, right? Because I watched it pretty intently. Kevin said, I don't got no ego unless we're two dudes sitting across the table with rifles, seeing who could hit the target. If you're sitting across the table, who can hit the target?
It was the ego thing It was the ego thing that tripped him up. It was like, oh, I don't have an ego, but now bring this up. Oh, now I have an ego
with a gun. And so that's my thing. Is like, Kevin, you're threatening the lesser guy, the old 40-year-old retired fighter that you can kick his ass. And then at the same time, you turn around and then you're talking about like shooting people who could probably beat your ass. It's like lame as fuck to me.
But then you go around, then you go afterwards and you
lose. So what do you like? This is my point. It's lame as fuck, because if you're really about that, if you're a really tough guy, you're in the business to show that. So you don't need to tell me who you're going to shoot or that you could beat up Rampage Jackson, because the way you prove to everybody else that you're a tough guy is by beating the guy you got to fight in the octagon.
And here's another point. I was like, to me, it's almost like, do you even really want to be a champion though?
No, he's already admitted he doesn't, which is why I've always said it's hard for me to get behind Kevin Holland.
that's super hard to get behind him. It's super hard to go create a podcast.
Right.
Go create a podcast. You're entertaining.
Well, he did create a podcast, but it's not open anymore. Like, it shut down. Something happened.
All right. Well, go create another podcast. Roll another one.
I guess so, but I don't know what happened there. Kevin, I was gonna say this too though, is because I was saying how Kevin. Oh, we got the boy in here, Rob Nakamura. Kevin can't hang in middleweight. Let's go. Yeah, put Kevin at welterweight, but we don't even, all the wrestlers are going to take him down there too. I was going to say something about, I might forget it just because I got distracted there for a second.
I wonder if Rob thinks, just kind of backtrack, if Armin and Max Holloway would be a good fight, because I know he's a big Max Holloway fan.
Oh, yeah. Rob, you think Arman Max Holloway, you think Charles Max Holloway, number one contender for Islam next? Because we all know Max wants to challenge for that lightweight title soon.
And two, I was going to say on the prelims, did you watch any of the prelims? I forgot.
I didn't really, I don't think.
My guy. All right. Hey, you know what we're going to have to start doing?
What?
We'll do the prelim corner with DJ MTK. MTK would just
prelim like fucking rundown, 10-minute rundown.
Yeah, no, 1 minute rundown. 1 minute rundown.
Okay. You want to do it right now or what?
Hey, I'll do it for you right now, just to fill you in.
Okay, fill me in.
Just to fill you in on who we should be watching.
Give me 30 seconds to finish just the last thing I had to say. I just remembered it. I was giving Kevin a hard time for threatening to kick Rampage's ass. So people probably want to know, well, then what do you want from Kevin? This is what I want from Kevin. To say to Rampage, I don't appreciate what you commented on my post. I don't know you very well. And express your feelings to him like you eventually did. You don't need to do the whole thing about I'm going to beat your ass, I want to fight, this and that. You're a fucking man, dude, a grown-ass man. You're a fighter in the octagon. Outside, you're a regular dude like everyone else. So just use your words and communicate like a normal dude. If you could do that. But maybe Rampage has a point with the ego.
But I will say this too, he does kind of have ego, right? He's arrogant. But we're talking about fighters, bro. And then we're not talking about the most sanest people here.
We're not.
You know what I mean?
You hear me. Yeah, I got you.
I feel you. Hey, prelims, 1 minute with DJ MTK. Hey, Talbot, did he get exposed?
You want me to give you an answer? I think so, a little bit. The grappling ain't there, right? Grappling's a big hole.
The grappling's not there. Zachary Reese, he was on the headshots. What do you think?
I didn't even watch that fight. And what's crazy, I never watched Zachary's fight. I never watched the guy he fought fight. And somehow I called that fight correctly.
Well, what was interesting because Ozma was stepped in, and I believe he was a champion in his previous division. But I was big on Zachary Reese, but he got a little bit exposed on that one. He really did. Ozma really put it on him.
Zachary's ain't that dude.
Really good. Not yet. It showed him, hey, there's another level to this shit. He was getting hyped.
Right.
Getting hyped.
Who'd you just say wasn't that
Grant
good?
Dawson.
After Zach Reese, who'd you say? Because I didn't hear that.
No, I said Bogdan got it done.
Oh, Bogdan. Okay. Yeah, Bogdan's good.
Yeah. Grant Dawson got back on a win column with a dominating fashion. Back on a 2-fight win streak after getting knocked out by Bobby Green. Before Bobby Green, he was like on a 7-fight win streak. He bumps Joel Alvarez out of the top 15 rankings and gets back into 15. I think him and Joel Alvarez need to get together. Wasn't he on UFC?
The last card.
Yeah. Not the last. Not.
He fought recently.
I think it was UFC 310. He fought recently.
Book it.
And remember, he got into the ranking. Grant Dawson got kicked out. Now Grant Dawson got back in.
Give me that one. I like it.
Yeah. All right. And Grant Dawson looked good. I was questioning it, and he looked good.
I like the guy you mentioned. Who the guy Grant Dawson should fight? What's his name again?
Joel Alvarez.
Joel Alvarez is a beast.
Yeah, he's a beast. See, I'm big on Ribovics. So all three of these guys, you know what I mean? Like, let's watch out for these guys for sure, bro.
Let's see him mix it up.
Let's see here. Sopaj looked good versus Ricky Tourist. Tagir Alimbekbab from Russia. I think that's Habib's guy. He won the first opening card. But leading into this, Ailin Perez versus Carol Rosa. I had Carol Rosa winning. She had fought the bloody fight at UFC Noche versus the homegirl. What's her name? Norman Dumont.
Yeah.
Is that her name?
I think. I don't know who Ailin fought, if I'm being for real.
This fight, she had to fight Carol Rosa. Carol Rosa had just fought. Let me bring it up. Norman Dumont. Remember that fucking huge gash?
Yeah, I do remember that gash.
So I thought Carol Rosa was like, okay, you're gonna roll into this, and I thought, okay, you're gonna kind of put it on her, but she didn't, bro. She looked weak
because she was the favorite. Ailin was the underdog.
Right, and so that's why I was like, all right, I like Ailin, but besides all the other shit, just as a fighter, and she just looked a step above Carol Rosa on every level, fighting. And then when she took her down, Bro, she won three out of those rounds. She won all 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And I just thought, and I had more because Norma Dumont had fought. She lost to the Lion. So I thought Norma Dumont's, up there as well. I was like, oh, that's a really good. I'm saying the wrong fighter. I'm sorry. Irene Aldana. I'll erase all that shit. Irene Aldana.
That's the cut.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Irene.
So wait, the girl who just
one of my favorite.
The girl who cut Irene Aldana just fought Ailin Perez?
Yes.
You're kidding me.
Hold on, let me make sure I got it right. No, it was Norman Dumont.
All right.
Hold on. All right. I'm sober today. That's fucked up.
All right. All good.
Oh, that's what it was. Norma Dumont fought Irene Aldana, and I think Carol Rosa had fought Norman Dumont.
Yeah, shout out to all the hardworking ladies out there. Hey, they're working. They're working on getting their names out there. Hopefully they tune into the podcast and they start taking.
Aldana did fight Rosa. Aldana did fight Rosa. That was last year. Aldana did win.
Okay. All right.
Look, the homies can get it wrong.
It's all good. It's all good.
I'm not the biggest. I always watch all the movies. But anyway,
it's the women's division. Anybody can understand. Don't worry about it.
I get a pass. Oh, bro, they're gonna troll me on this one, dog.
No,
you're not a real fucking. They're gonna be like, why you even have a podcast? You don't even know what's going on. Anyway,
I don't even know. I had no clue about any of that, so you know more than me.
But Ailin, she did impress me. I feel like she's picking up steam. She's been getting some wins, and she's moving up in the rankings, and I think that's well deserved. Now, the whole Tracy Cortez thing, I don't even know how they could fight each other, to be honest. They're in different weight classes.
Are they different divisions?
They're in different divisions.
Damn, I thought they were about the same division. So Ailin, I'm guessing, is a weight class above.
She is.
Damn, yeah. So, I mean, that's all booty, right?
It's probably is.
That's like all thigh booty.
All thickness, bro. All thickness.
So if she can slim down a little bit, she can get that Tracy fight. But I think Tracy, she's not going to be moving up. I wonder if they're going to fight.
Yeah, so Tracy fights in the Valentina Shevchenko's division, which is the women's flyweight.
Mm-hmm.
She's ranked number 11
Give me a second
in that division.
Just carry on. I just got to send her a text real quick.
I'll just say that. And Ailin fights in the bantamweight division. That's Julia Pena's division, and she's ranked number 11. They're both ranked number 11 in different divisions.
Okay.
So really, maybe. Oh, I remember what happened, right? The drama started because of the Ailin clapped at Tracy Cortez for having to cut the weight. Oh no, Tracy clapped at Ailin for the weight cut, for missing weight.
Correct.
Last year, and then Ailin clapped back because she had Tracy had to cut her hair to make weight.
Correct.
Like, oh bitch, like now what? Oh, see, now you see, and now they got. Then they, at this fight, they ended up running into each other at the elevator, and I feel like Tracy was a little out of pocket, even though I like.
You cut out a little bit. Tracy was out of pocket even though you like her?
Yeah, I think she was a little out of pocket, like saying something in the elevator during fight week. During fight week,
it was a little uncalled for because Aileen's cutting weight. You can't fight her anyway.
Right.
I actually forgot that Tracy started the beef by. Are you there?
I'm back.
Okay. I forgot that Tracy started the beef. I thought Ailin started the beef by making fun of her for cutting her hair, but that was her clapping back at Tracy. Okay. So with that being said, you definitely don't need
Tracy,
to be.
Then Tracy drops that like hotel video, like, oh, I just saw her. Like, I get that. Like, you're a little.
But Tracy started all this beef, so why is she acting like you stand on what you said when Ailin just clapped back at what Tracy said?
Right. I think but I think it does hype it up where the fans really would want to see. I would want to see it.
I want to see it.
I'd want to see it.
I want to see the face off and everything.
Yeah, put that as a fight night co-main event. I'm watching.
Winner gets up on that cage and twerks it.
We'll see what the world twerk queen is.
Yeah. Or do what Ailin does where she goes hands on the ground, feet on the cage.
Right.
Yeah, that's a solid move right there.
We have we have
twerk
like
off. Twerk off.
Yeah, a little twerk off like you're down in TJ.
Yeah. Cake off, whatever you want to call it.
Latinas. See, that's what I love about both of them, bro. See, look at that's what the a lot of the MMA cultures don't understand. These are both Latinas.
Mm-hmm.
Like to twerk, that's just natural, bro. That's just for a hyena and for the homegirls, bro. You put on some like ratchet music, bro. They just can't help themselves.
We need a cake battle.
Me too. That's what I'm saying. Latinas, bro, like that just comes with our culture, dancing and twerking and shit. Like we don't take offense to that. Like it is not. There's no like. We don't see shame in it.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
I think everybody accepts it. I think people recognize that's your culture. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, it gets embraced.
But I think on the outside looking in, like people could be like, oh, that's ratchet. Right. You know what I mean? Like,
but we don't give a fuck about those people.
Oh, that's all you can do is shake your ass, but they're both really good fighters.
They are good fighters. I see people saying like Ailin with the looks is getting far because of that, but she's winning.
Yeah, and for me, the fight that impressed me, even though she lost, was Tracy Cortez versus Rosenfeld.
Rose Namajunas.
Yes, that fight, Rose was a little former champion, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she has it there. But Tracy was right there in it with her, and she took some hits and she took some damage. She stood in the pocket, and that really impressed me. It really did. It impressed me. Even on a loss,
that's fair.
Even on a loss, it impressed me. And going back on this fight, Ailin has impressed me in all these past 3 wins as well. Mm-hmm. So besides all the twerking and the cuteness and shit, and guys being thirsty over them, they're really 2 good fighters.
They are good fighters.
And the drama, and they're women, bro. Women are a little bit more, they're different than how men are. So it was funny just to see Tracy Cortez all like, hyped up, like, oh.
Yes. And
she let her emotions out a little bit.
She did, and it's fun, I think with Tracy, right? Whether it's cutting the hair, whether it's talking shit online, Ailin, whether it's twerking, whether it's when she missed weight last year and went viral for missing weight and like exaggerating it. Like these girls do a good job of creating storylines, whether it's intentional or not. They continuously put themselves in the limelight on top of getting wins, and that's what you have to do.
And here's my thing too. Tracy is actually helping Ailin out by boosting her image and her brand.
Mm-hmm.
Tracy got like over 1 million followers, dog.
Yeah, right.
Like
Tracy got a ton of followers,
and I think of course a lot of those are on her looks, and what you've been able to back up as a good fighter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Ailin is trying to get there. So it works in Ailin's favor to have beef with Tracy.
Right. So she's going to keep leaning into it as she should.
Because Ailin only has like, I think 250,000 followers.
What if somebody with 1 million followers start coming at you? What you going to do? You're going to do the same thing Ailin's doing.
Oh, dog.
Why wouldn't you? Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Right, because it's going to boost you.
If Sean Brady came at me and started coming after me, I would have to lean into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anybody with more clout than you. I don't know how much clout Sean Brady got. Probably not that much, to be honest.
That's
right. I mean, and I've already said this before. You know, I'm more on if we were going to look side, I'm going Tracy's side.
Yeah, Tracy. Tracy on a Neon stream, she was looking kind of cute.
To me, she always looked cute. You know what I mean? Like
a little, because I gave her a hard time. I was like, she's not that cute, right? So let me say, like, Tracy was looking a little bit better on Neon stream. Maybe I was a little hard on her.
I mean, I wish some of these fighters stopped going on Neon stream, dog. Like the Marlon Vera, like, come on, dog.
Oh yeah, Cheeto. I saw a funny clip of Cheeto doing some weird like TikTok trendy dance type thing. Did you see that?
It's funny because he has nothing to prove either, right? He can do whatever the fuck he wants. Doesn't make him less of a man. However, I don't know, bro. I'm not sipping the Kool-Aid with all these like fucking weirdo streamers and shit, bro. They're just weirdos to me, dog.
I'm not either, really.
Like they'll do anything. They'll do anything for clout, bro. Like fucking Adam 22 and shit. Like they'll do anything, bro. Like one of the streamers, I forgot who it was. His girl was like twerking on some other dude, and his dude's like, "Man, what the fuck?" And Adam 22 is like, "Oh yeah, don't worry about that." Because it's all for the views.
Yeah, they don't care. I was just gonna say about
do any weird shit.
I was trying to think though about how that works and stuff, and I feel like the fighters look at it as far as like they're like, oh, it'll grow my name because I can get Neon's audience.
I get that. I get that. There's a game to be played within the game.
But unfortunately, sometimes the game within the game, it just waters things down. It gives you something that people don't really want to see. But I guess there's people out there who want to see it.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, right?
Like I guess you could say
you do gain a little bit by going into that person's audience.
You get a new that little new audience that's not really. You could call it the casual MMA audience.
Yeah.
Which is it's beneficial, right? Because you can't only rely on diehards to buy your pay-per-view. So, Cheeto, whatever. But I always cringe too a little bit. I'm always like, they went on there. I think they got a rule too. I think Neon got a rule. Like, if you got to have at least 1 million followers for me to like bring you on my stream.
All right.
But it's like, but last thing on that, it's like, personally, I don't like that because I don't like when you come into MMA and just kind of take from the biggest stars and exploit like their popularity. If you're going to come into something and exploit it, then at least kind of show some love to maybe like the 250K fighters. You know what I mean? Right. But to just exploit the million follower fighters, I think it's kind of unauthentic.
It can be.
It's a little played out, like you're just going to come in there for the views, but do you even fuck with these guys or just because they got 1 million followers?
Right. It's a game within the game, right? I would say let's end it on this.
Diego, right?
Sanchez. Yeah, dude. Like, when I saw that, I was like, man, bro, who the fuck is this dude? I didn't even know who the fuck
Fabia.
Like I did, like just saying his name. I don't even want to fucking say his name. He's a piece of shit. I'm surprised this motherfucker's still walking around. Like I don't know how the fuck somebody just didn't take that fool and like fucking just do him dirty, dog. Like oh man, that shit gets under my skin.
Well, somehow these guys, these grown ass men, just like completely succumb to whatever he tells them to do. Whether it's signing over money, whether it's hanging upside down, getting punched in the face and kicked in the face. I mean, you name it.
Has he done that to other fighters besides Diego Sanchez? Like, the fact that Diego I don't know how Diego even, like, let it happen.
I was going to say that, too, because I told you, I was like, Joshua Fabia is a terrible guy. But then I was also thinking, like, but Diego, man. Like, Diego. I think Diego, he buys the Kool-Aid, right? He sips the Kool-Aid. He's a guy, he's very religious. And you have, I'm not trying to down religion right now, but let me say this. People who are overly devout to religion and don't really use their own intuition at times and completely rely on like the Bible and all that too much, I think you succumb yourself to someone coming in and brainwashing you cult style.
Yeah.
Because you're so open to receiving this stuff versus thinking on your own.
And I think the losses fed into all this. It's almost like you said, the cult, right? When you're able to capitalize on someone's weaknesses, you're the biggest piece of shit out there, dude. Mm-hmm. And evidently that's what he did. He saw a weakness within Diego and he fucking extracted in that vein and he took everything out that he could.
He separated him from his wife and his kid.
Yeah, and like the whole like what you just said, bro. And then you disown the rest of the guys that got you there because you feel like you have to go another route and you gotta win when he was with you.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh, I don't need all these outside voices. I just need him. Oh, he's my guru now. And I was trying to think, man, I don't know, bro. Like maybe there's something wrong with me, bro. Like I'm very I take so it takes me a while to really like, all right, that dude's cool. Like I'm gonna be around you for a little bit. I'm gonna see how you really interact, and then I'll make it a judgment on you, like probably a year down the road, you know.
Same here.
And with him, he was able to see a weakness. I kind of felt like he was. It's almost like a pimp, like when you find a girl that's just
like a weak girl on the streets.
Yeah, that
strung
needs
out with
it.
no
That
drugs.
don't mean needs it. Right, that needs money. Like, okay, I gotta
You come here, give her a little free drugs.
But I'm gonna need this for you real quick and shit. You know, you're just able to capitalize and make them go do things that they would never have done. And maybe because you're now the only friend they needed. And at that time, Diego probably was going through some dark times when you're losing, you know? And he was able to manipulate him. And it was so disgusting to watch, bro. I was just like, man, I don't know what that man's doing right now, but I hope he's fucking struggling to pay his mortgage payment. And I don't like to talk down on people. I don't like to put people down, but that's a piece of shit motherfucker right there. Hope he goes to prison one day and he meets a real one. And I hope he meets a real one day when he's just like, bro, you about to get caught at the fuck.
Yeah. So what else did they kind of talk about in there? Because I've also seen the parts where, you know, I haven't watched the documentary, but I've seen like a preview of it, and it syncs up to other footage I've seen in the past. Like I've seen that clip of Diego signing over a check to Joshua Fabia for like X amount of money.
Basically, yeah. So basically, Diego was just like hit a wall with him. Is like, dude, I just gotta. I don't want anything to do with you anymore. We're gonna part ways. And so he came to Diego and he filmed it. Saying, hey, all the things I did for you, you know, you now owe me money for that. And Diego's so depleted and so broken, was like, dude, I'll do anything to get you out of my fucking life. It's either that or I'll kill you, bro. And he's like, man, I made a decision where I wasn't gonna, you know, put myself in harm to be away from my kids, and I just wrote the check.
Did they ask him about? Did you watch the whole thing with Diego? Did they ask him or suggest anything about like rape or like sexual assault?
I don't remember anything like that.
Okay, because there's like rumors. People talk about rumors about like gay shit that may have gone down too between them two. And again,
I don't remember that.
And again, though, that is real. That's not because Diego wanted it. You know what I mean? That just goes to show, though, like how big of a piece of shit Joshua was. Because I think and I can't confirm or deny any of this, right? But there are rumors out there, and if they're true, it just shows to how sick of a guy this guy was, because he's like brainwashing people and maybe even turning them gay to some degree, trying to. Can't really speak on it, but I'm telling you, that's a rumor. That's a rumor.
Seeing his personality and, like, you know, what cult leaders do and how they try to manipulate people, that's a tactic, right? To have power over you. I wouldn't put it past them.
Because if you committed this act with me, then like it creates a new power.
And I have something over you that I could use against you.
Right.
Oh, don't tell anybody. I'm not saying I don't know what that. I don't know about that. I'm just saying
it's
in a scenario.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, I do get vibes. Are you about to read something?
Yeah, I just want to know, like, where the fuck this dude's at now and shit. Like I really hope this motherfucker's like sitting in prison somewhere, bro.
I got something I could pull up for you real quick. You must not have seen the video Diego posted about a year ago now, where he broke his silence about Joshua Fabia on Instagram. Did you see this?
No. I mean, maybe I've seen it, but I just didn't know it.
Hey, what's up, guys? Just wanted to go live.
Check it out right here.
I'll post this live.
Yeah.
I'm sure people are going to start coming on in. And this man was incarnating some very powerful demons to do the work that he was doing to bring me against my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. In a very vulnerable moment in my life, this man stepped in and he basically destroyed me and ruined me. And it wasn't...
Destroyed me and ruined me is very choice words, is it not? To what we're just speaking on, as far as like the gay shit too. He destroyed me. It's like, ugh.
I mean, I really like want to know, like, is this dude out there like still training motherfuckers and shit?
I don't know, but let me read to you the
I want to do like an after one. I want to do some more fucking like research on this motherfucker, bro. Like, where are you at now? What the fuck you doing now? Like, who else are you trying to manipulate and shit? Cause see, this type of dude, bro, he's doing. That's not his. This isn't his first fucking person he's trying to do it. This is his most successful one.
Let me say something like this, right? I'll read to you a quick little excerpt because I translated it or transcribed it so I can read what Diego said in that video I just showed you. This is what Diego said. I paid him money to get out of my life because the situation had become so volatile and so evil and dark that there was no other option. Either he was going to kill me or I was going to have to kill him. Everybody wants to tell me, oh, why didn't you snap his neck? Oh, why didn't you crush this guy? If I was you, I would have just snapped him. And yeah, man, I would have loved to do that, but I'm dealing with a very mentally unstable sociopathic psychopath. The best way I can put it, you're dealing with a Charlie Manson type of mind, where he's so far gone that it makes him unstable and dangerous. This guy was completely psycho, and he was participating in witchcraft. In a very vulnerable moment in my life, this man stepped in and he basically destroyed me and ruined me. It wasn't until the end that I submitted back to the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and within days he was kicked out of my life. It cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars, but I was able to move on. I never dealt with it, I just ran from it. He goes on to say stuff like, once he found out I didn't have as much money as I thought, he lost his mind, implemented slavery on me, put me into some of the harshest conditions of torture that people could not even believe. This is real Charlie Manson level craziness. Out of the love for my daughter and my mother and my family, I was put into these situations and forced to comply with everything that he did and said. I didn't want to go to jail for killing him, and I didn't want to get murdered or get anybody hurt. Like we said, he was blackmailing Diego with his family. Now I'm in the right state of mind where I'm ready to move forward and let this part of my past go. But for me to do that, I have to fight this fight. He believes he's a prophet. He believes that he developed a cultivated school of self-awareness to where he could tell people basically that they are their own God and that you don't need God. And this is the sickest, darkest form of evil. I have to stand up now because if I don't stand up against this guy, I'm going to put other people in a place where this guy could come back into their life. Where this guy could manipulate them, blackmail them, extort them as he did to me.
Yeah. No, dude, he's a predator, bro.
Slavery,
fuck that shit.
torture.
That motherfucker deserves to, yeah, that motherfucker deserves to be in prison and fucking like what they did to Jeffrey Dahmer and shit.
And
the
because
dude
you're
that
asking,
killed Jeffrey Dahmer,
that's
a psychopath.
I don't know if you know this, but he pulled like a knife out on like I think Paul Felder or some shit. He pulled a knife on someone.
See, and that's the thing. That's the thing about these type of dudes, bro. When you like, you know, I've been in jail, and I've dealt with some fucking like crazy motherfuckers and shit. There's levels to that shit too.
Of course, Joshua Fabia ain't even like half that highest level.
No, bro. Let him go. Let him go to county. Mm-hmm. Let him do some real ones that got nothing to lose.
Right.
You can't manipulate.
You can't blackmail.
Yeah, you can't slick talk your way out of that shit, bro.
I agree.
You can't, and that's man. He's a predator. He deserves to be in prison. That's why I want to do a backstory on this motherfucker.
He's not though.
I want to know where the fuck he's at right now.
I think he's chilling. I don't think there's any crimes that you could punish him for.
Well, hopefully he is. Hopefully he's not fucking. Hoping he's just fucking in a hole somewhere, broke as fuck.
Well, you can go on a massive deep dive because there's a lot of content.
I will.
Okay.
All of a sudden, next time you see me, I got all kinds of like.
I know.
Hey, bro, I never left.
That whole map is like crossed out. You got like all kinds of like other things going on now.
Bro, I found something.
I know. Let me read this comment from Rob because we responded to him, so he gave us his answer. Okay. He said, "I like Armand, but you can't ruin a main event and title shot. He really lost favor with the company. Max and Charles would make the world stop for however long it lasts." Pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Rob's
Max Charles, good then, and then I don't know who Islam fights, but he'll fight somebody. Oh, Ilya. There we go.
Yeah. Love that.
All right, that was a good stream. I think we went for hour and a half. Solid stream.
All right. Nice.
All right, boys. Appreciate you. See you next time.